Let's welcome Kenny Gajewski.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you a bunch. All right. Well, obviously, thank you for having me. This is always a special day for me. There's a lot of you here that I know, but I think I need to mention that my dad was a Rotarian back on the West Coast. He was president at some point in time. I don't remember all this stuff, but I remember him going to Rotary and all that stuff, and he's a Paul Harris Fellow as well. So I think it's a great way. Every time I come here, I always call him on my drive here. It's not a very far drive, and it's actually a really good call with my dad because he likes to talk a lot, and so it gets me off the phone fast. So I did my good deed with him for today. And it gets me off the hook about talking about softball too, because he's my worst critic for sure. But he loves me. I know that more than anything. He just thinks he can help me, and most of the time he can't. I wish he could, because I need a lot of help this year especially. But thank you to all of you for what you do, to take your time out and to be here and to be part of this community here. It's what makes Stillwater what it is, and it's why when I recruit to here, my company line, it's not really a company line. I don't know if that's fair to say. It's probably not, but my line is always like, I can't really explain it. But if you'll just keep your eyes and ears open while you're here this weekend with your family, and you'll ask us real questions, we'll give you real answers. You may not like it. You may. And at the end, it's up to you to decide if you want to be part of this family. And we've had great luck. If we can get kids here, we have great luck to keep them here. And it's getting a little harder. Our success over the previous years has entered us into some different caliber of student athlete. And so those kids have a lot of options. And so now it becomes finding the right kids that will fit here in our town, not just because they're really good at softball, but because they're the right fit for us and in our town, and will embrace Stillwater and our state, and our school. And I think that's one of the most important things, and it's becoming a lot harder to do. But I can tell you this, I would rather have it like that than the way it was my first couple of years. It was a different fight, and it was a fun fight. But we're in a different type of fight now, and it's really cool. So our current team, we're oh boy, if I could read you all the emails I'm getting right now, and Facebook messages, and I think we've had so much success where we haven't lost a lot over the last 5 years. I can't tell you how neat it is to receive messages from people like yourselves that keep your heads up. You guys are fine. We're so proud of you. Hey, Carly Godwin's too far off the plate. You need to move her on the plate. I get a lot of that too, and I appreciate all of it, because if you guys, those of you that really know me and that have been around me some, and Chris just said it, I want to be very approachable. I'm like that with my kids. I'm like that with their parents. I got a really heartbreaking email this morning from one of my parents. She's mad at me because her daughter's not playing. And I'm currently constructing an email back. And I haven't hit send yet because she hit send way too fast. And that's the truth. And so I'm taking my time to make sure I can try to get my thoughts across. And my message to her back is going to be, listen, I appreciate you reaching out. I want to say parentheses, you shouldn't have, but I'm not going to put that there. But I'm going to tell her that. And then I'm going to walk her through how we've got to this point. And I'm going to remind her that the season is not over. And I'm going to remind her that my job is based on wins and losses to my bosses. In the end, that's what it's based on. So I would never not play kids that I didn't think were going to help us win. And all of us in this room, we've always earned everything that we got. Okay? And sometimes I know a lot of us in here are parents. I'm a parent of a freshman in college. I'm a parent of a 14-year-old in 8th grade. And if you didn't know, I have a 14-month-old baby as well. So I understand. I have perspective. Okay? I mean, for a 53-year-old guy, I have different perspective now than when my son, who's 19, was a baby, right? And he's in college, and he's playing baseball, and he's not starting. And all he's ever done is start. And I haven't called the coach yet. And I'm not going to, because my son is earning what he ought to get. And it's those lessons that I'm going to remind this parent. These lessons are what makes your daughter who she's going to be as a mother, as a wife, as maybe a Rotarian at some point in time. These are the things that life is really about. It's not easy. It's actually really hard, and it's supposed to be hard. Nothing is supposed to be easy. If it's easy, it's probably not real. It's probably not going to last, and it's probably not going to have real value in the very end. So, but I deal with that stuff all the time, and that stuff bothers me. It doesn't bother me to make me upset. It actually hurts me. And I just got back from the gym, and it motivated me here today. It was something I needed, I guess, to motivate me to go to the gym, because I need that. But I just sat back when I was doing my stuff and going, man, it's the hardest part about coaching. The losses aren't hard. They stink, but the sun's going to come up tomorrow. The greatest thing about our game is we get to play 56 times. And it's hard to win them all. It's really hard. But I wasn't, when Coach Holder hired me here, he didn't tell me that I had to win all of our games. He just told me to do things right, treat these kids, these ladies with respect, and get them out of here more mature than when they got here. That's it. And so that's what we've tried to do here, and I think it's worked pretty dang good. And it's not perfect, and it never will be, but this season hasn't been perfect. And honestly, last season and the 4 seasons before that weren't perfect. We just haven't played our best softball yet, but we're still 30-17. Not bad. You know what I mean? We still can finish 3rd in our conference, behind 2 teams in the top 10. We're okay. And we don't ever talk about here winning the conference. We talk about winning the last game. That's really what matters at the very end. And I can remember, Chris, you may be able to remember this, 2 years back, we were number 2 in the country, sitting about, 35-3, and we lost 11 of 13 games. And if you think the sky was falling now, it was falling then. It fell, actually. And we ended up hosting a regional, hosting a super, and going to KC. So we get caught up even in whatever that you do. We get caught up in the journey. We get caught up on kind of what's going on now. We should be focused on what's under our feet, but we forget how hard each journey is. And so that's been kind of the message I've given to our team this whole year, as we've kind of been up and down. We haven't played just terrible. We've played terrible a couple times, but it hasn't been like a long stretch. And we haven't played great yet. And I've always been taught and mentored that in a baseball or softball year, you're going to play the way you should about 60% of the year. You're going to play above your ability 20 and below the 20. Well, we've definitely played the below and the average. And we really haven't played above yet. We played the first game of our year. We looked like the best team in the country against Florida State in Mexico. We whipped them up and down the field. They're a top 10 team. We were too. And then they came back and beat us in the third game of the year, fourth game, and they beat us back. Like, we didn't know how to answer. And I really think a lot of this stuff, you know, that we bring in a lot of transfers here. And I've said this to this group a lot. We're attractive in the transfer portal at OSU. The reason is, when a lot of these young kids are being recruited, they get caught up in the glitz and the glamour and the logo. It's what they get caught up in. They're young kids. They're immature kids. It's just life. And this doesn't always Stillwater. If they could be around us for a week, they would understand and they wouldn't leave here. They would never choose these other spots. But they just come in here for a weekend and they're like, man, I love it there and the people there are awesome, but man, it was so neat and cool at Texas or Florida, wherever it is, the teams we're fighting against, OU, okay? And so we end up losing kids a lot until they get to those spots and go, man, this wasn't what I was told. And why is OSU having so much fun and winning and all this stuff? And that coach over there, Coach G, said it was just do what you need to do. Like, we'll be here. And that's why we continue to recruit the very best, because I know they're going to be unhappy at other schools. And they're going to eventually go, I should have gone there in the first place. And so it just fits us, and it's okay. And I wish we could get some of those, or more of those young kids, but I think our path is what our path is, and you just got to figure it out and go. So as of now, we've done very well. But in the process, when you get kids that are coming in, this team lacks some leadership amongst their peers. People that have been here for 3 and 4 years, they can say, hey, that's not the Cowgirl way. That's not the way we do things. I had an instance last weekend in Kansas. Carly Godwin, who I consider one of my leaders, struggling. In her mind, you know, the sky's falling. She's still hitting 330, you know, and doing great stuff. First inning, we had a runner at first base with 1 out, and she hits a ground ball to shortstop and doesn't run hard down the line and gets thrown out at first in a bang-bang play, jogging, because she's frustrated. And I don't think I've been as mad as I've ever been. I mean, I was as mad as I've ever been. And I probably said things I would like to have back. I don't think she heard them, but I ran over there and I told her, I just said, sit your ass down, you're done. And she looked at me and said, yes, sir. And I took her out in the first. And it was hard. It was hard on me. Those things are not easy on me. Like that's why I need help from a staff. Like, I have weakness, right? We all do. And my weakness is I love these kids so much that I want to give them more chances, more opportunities, and I need to be a better, like, this is the rule, this is the way it is. And so that's why I brought in one of my best friends, because he is that. And I could see him looking at me, and when I saw his face, I knew exactly what I needed to do. And that night, Carly texted me. It was about 9:45, and I was sitting in bed watching film, and I see a text, and it was a text. She goes, "Can we talk?" And I have a little bit of passive aggressive in me, so I just put the phone down. And I thought, okay, I got an option. I can text her back, and I know what she wants to do. She wants to apologize, I'm sure of it. Or I can let her sleep on it and just text her first thing in the morning. Well, the passive-aggressive side of me said, just let her sit. And so in the morning, I got up early. I texted her, and she goes, "Yeah, I want to talk if you're okay." And so this is going to tell you a little bit about our program and the Cowgirl way, which is relentless, excellent, and passionate. And her actions weren't that. And that's why I took her out. She didn't meet the standard. So I met her downstairs in the lobby, And she sat down, and this is a tough kid. Like, I mean, tough. Raised tough, hardest working kid I've been around, just swinging an axe since she was probably 8 years old. You know, she loves to hunt. When I was recruiting her, she would send me a picture of deer she's killed or bear she's killed. I mean, it's like wild, okay? Tough kid. Her dad is Bruno. That's his name. So, she sits down, and I said, hey, what's up? And she goes, well, I just wanted to say, and I thought she was going to say, I'm sorry. She goes, I just wanted to say thank you. And I was like, this is interesting. And I'm like, okay. She goes, I needed that. And I was like, whoa. I kind of like, I'm an emotional guy. You know that. My eyes are watering now, just recalling that. And I was like, wow. Like that was cool. Like, and for her to say that, I think tells you everything that you need to know about her and the way she's been raised. And then she apologized, and I said, I accept. I said, I'm not mad at you. You're gonna play today. You served your punishment. For female athletes, the taking her out of the game, it's embarrassment. It's not, they're not mad at me, they're embarrassed. And it's worse, they would rather me scream and holler at them and blah, 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 and then go back out and play. They can handle that. They're tougher than any of you men think you are. Okay? I'm just telling you, it's why I love coaching them. They are so dang tough. And for her to say, thank you, I'm sorry, I was like, whoa, she's getting ready to get hot. Like, maybe she did. And I told her, I turned it back on her, and I said, it's actually my fault. I said, last night or yesterday, you not running hard towards first base, it's my fault. And I'm going to apologize now. And I hope you'll accept. And she looked at me, she was like, why is it your fault? I said, because it's not the first time you've done it, and I didn't handle it then. And that's the problem we have in society, right? We let things go. We have a standard for whatever it is. Whatever business that you have your standards. And if people don't meet that, we have a hard time. Some of us, maybe not all of you, but some of us have a hard time because we're worried about losing an employee. We're worried about losing them to the portal. Well, if they want to go to the portal and they want to leave you, they're not good enough to be at your place anyways, because we're all about the standards. And that's the way we've got to be here. And I think what we're lacking, circling back, is we're just lacking a little bit of that type of leadership. I'm lacking Carly standing up as well. And she's saying to me, this is the hardest thing about leadership, is when you're not playing your best, it's a little bit harder to think you can lead. It's hard. Because we think of leadership as the best player. And if the best player's not playing good, then she doesn't or he doesn't feel like he can say anything. And actually, that's what actually leadership is. No matter how you're doing, you're holding your peers or whoever it is that you're leading or managing or whatever it is, coaching, there's still a standard. The standard is the standard. And so I had to apologize because I wasn't meeting the standard. And really, that's where that outburst came from. It didn't come from her. It came from me. And it's being vulnerable enough when a 19, 20-year-old kid can say thank you before she apologizes, hits you in the gut and goes, dang it, that's actually on me. And so kind of a cool story that none of you even knew. If you were watching, you're like, I wonder why she came out. You know what I mean? You didn't even know. And she came out because she didn't run hard to first base. And she cost her team. And so I told her, I said, if I was you, I would probably say something to your team that I let you down. Hey, I'm sorry, I let you down. It won't happen again. And tell them what you told me. You know, say I thank Coach G. It's what I needed. So I didn't follow through. I don't think I have to. I think I know that she's got that done. And so it's kind of cool. So we are primed. I can tell you that. I feel really good about this team. We've got the most important part of the year that's coming up. You know, we're going to be in the postseason. I'm not worried about that. I mean, we're in. We're a good seed. We still have a chance to actually host the first round. We're not going to be a top 8 seed. Won't make it there. We played a tremendous schedule, as good as anybody in the country. I think number 3 in the country. We'll play anybody, anywhere. You guys know that. And I'm super proud of these guys because they're learning. They're learning the hard way. They're learning the right way. And I'm just trying to keep building these guys up each day. I had an opportunity. Matt, you were going to ask me about this. You want me to just talk about it, or do you want to ask me? Okay.
So I think this one, like everybody here, we love hearing how you speak with passion. So last night I was watching a video. It just came up on Twitter. And I think there's a lot of people in this room that remember the passion that Coach Ward coached with. And you brought him into the program. And I think the thing about the video is how you talked about his relationship with his wife.
Yeah.
And now how he is working with girls on the team. Would you just talk? I mean,
Yeah.
it was touching.
Yeah. I've been trying to get Coach Ward here since my first year here. Just to be very frank, I admire him. I'll just kind of walk backwards. You know, you guys know I played at the school down the road. I come up here and played and got my butt kicked. I think somebody hit a home run off the scoreboard, and you dropped a bomb off me. I mean, I was on the field, had to be a part of that on the other side. And this was one of the most incredible places to ever play in college. It was, you guys, there's a lot of you that were probably in the crowd, to be very honest. And I didn't really like him then. Why would you? I mean, why would you? It's this massive man that didn't even know that the other team was actually there. They thought they were playing by themselves. That's how good that they were. And that's how I've tried to build this. Like, when I talked to our team, like, we've had this real phobia with OU my first 8-9 years. Like, we just couldn't get over the hump. And I've always said, they're not even there. We're not playing OU. We're not playing Texas. We're playing against the game. That's it. You're playing to beat the game. And that's how those guys played back in those days. They really thought that they were the only guys there. And so after I played at the other school, I went to K-State for 1 year as the volunteer. And they had an assistant coach, hitting coach, named Rocky Ward. And I was like, I don't know why I'm going to go to this place. I do not like OSU. I do not like Gary Ward. I'm sure not going to like Rocky Ward. Rocky was actually kind of fun. And one day, my job, this was when I learned to really, really work. I was actually the volunteer. Like, back then, I didn't make any money from K-State. No camp money, nothing. I was just like the grunt. I took care of the field. I coached my tail off. I learned a lot from Rocky. And I had to work at a golf course in Junction City, Kansas. This 9-hole course that you played up from different tees for 18 holes. And I used to mow greens in the morning, get up there at like 5 o'clock, work till about 12, go to the baseball field, take care of that field, practice, and do it all over again. Well, one day, Rocky says, hey, why don't you come over? Rocky lived in right field in a double wide, like in the corner there. And he was like the security. Part of his pay was security for the soccer and baseball field. And he got to live in the free double wide. I don't know if that was a gift or not, but he got it. So he said, why don't you come over to the house? I said, okay. He goes, my dad's there. And I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going over there. No way. No way. You're enough. There's no way I can take 2 of you. You're going to rip on me for playing at OU. I'm not doing it. So I was at my apartment, and Rocky called and goes, where are you? And I'm like, I am at my place. I got to get up and do a real job in the morning. You get to coach. I get to go mow greens. And he's like, come over. Come have a beer with my dad. He goes, I promise you, you won't regret it. one of the best professional things I've ever done. I stayed up till about 4 a.m. I don't even think I went to sleep. I just got up and went to the green. I went to mow greens. I'm not sure the lines were straight, but I did. And I learned so much in a short amount of time. But what I learned was how incredible of a man this guy was. I was blown away. And I had a couple Coors Lights. They were eating peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches. I did not partake in that. But I got smarter that night. And then Rocky went to New Mexico State. I came back to OU, where I worked there about another 10 years. Rocky went to NMSU. My dad lives in that town. Introduced them. My dad and Gary became great friends, and my dad always tried to help them. And then when I got here and Gary had moved back here and was taking care of Kathy, I asked him my first week, I said, hey, will you come by? And he goes, yeah. He came by, and then I never really saw him much. And then I'd see him, and I'd reach out to him, and he said to me, he goes, Kenny, I want to come out there, but I'm taking care of Kathy. She's sick. And she's been sick for a long time. And he goes, dang it. He goes, all she's done is take care of this family forever. I'm never home. I'm going to speak. I'm going this. I'm pouring into everybody else's kids except mine, the coach's life. It's what it is. And he goes, it's my turn to take care of her. And for the next 6-7 years until Kathy passed, that's what he did. And I would see him occasionally. I've got like 3 or 4 voicemails saved on my phone. 2 of them are from him. One of them is from Coach Holder. Really kind of cool ones that I hope I never accidentally hit delete, because I listen to him occasionally when I'm feeling like the sky is coming down, and it's really cool. But he's been battling some health stuff kind of in his feet, where he hasn't been feeling great. This guy, he's 83, guys, and he is as sharp gets. Like, he can rattle off names. Maybe he's not sharp, he's just rattling off names. I don't know. But he sure seems sharp. And I mean, the stuff that he spits out on hitting and what he sees, he'll tell you, God gave me a gift, and he gave me a camera. And the other gift was it doesn't go away. And just the way he talks about our kids, like I sit with him, and finally came. Then I asked him I had him come talk to our team. Our girls were just like staring at him, like you could see their focus was so intentful. And then I said, hey, I'd really like you to start coming back. I said, I know you. I know where you've moved now. You're right there. Like, we want you here. These ladies will grow on you, like, fast. Well, he's there 2 days ago, and he's like naming off every kid. He goes, hey, I don't think I know that one there. I said, that's work. He goes, oh, I know about work. He goes, I think we need to put a basketball between her knees, and that will keep her knees from going out. And I'm like, he's watching. Like, I don't even, so like he's watching every pitch of every game. And it's just it's so cool. But I'm so thankful, and it's why this place is so cool. It's exactly why I came here. One of the main reasons I came here was Coach Holder. And I know that some of you may have had some run-ins with Coach Holder back in the day. But I caught this man in the best phases of his life, in that reflection type phase where he could be a little bit vulnerable, and I've seen him have some tears. And when you get these legendary coaches like this around you, you figure out quickly why they were what they were. And then you start to figure out they're pretty good people. And Gary's just, he's turned into a really good mentor of mine. And I appreciate you asking, because it makes me emotional, because I'll tell you this. I'll just tell you this. Do not tell him I told you this. But he told our team, he goes, you guys are trying to search for this in your swing and this. And he goes, man, right now, I'm just searching for somebody that I can hold their hand at night. And I was like, and I saw girls in my team just start tears just coming down their eyes, and I was just like, wow. Like that right there was maybe more powerful than anything he could talk to them about hitting ever. Because in the end, what we're trying to do here has zero to do with softball. I tell our team, when you're my age and you get back together with your teammates, which I get to do with my teammates, there is zero talk about baseball. And there will be zero talk about softball. It's the memories that you created. And your legacy will be how you treated your teammates, not how good you were, not you were an All-American. Nobody cares because there's no value in it. There's none. What we have value in is the relationships and the memories. And so I thought it was one of the most powerful talks of anybody we've ever brought in to our team. And I didn't know that that's what he would say. I had no clue. He asked me what to talk about. I said, here's where our team's at. It's all yours. Now, the last thing I'll tell you, if you ever get around him, you have to give him a time limit. And if it's 30, you tell him 20. Okay? So, and he'll tell you that. Hey, just cut me off whenever. But amazing man. I know he loves OSU. I mean, he loves this place. And I wish we would do a little bit better job bringing him back a little bit. And again, I don't have any. I wish he was more. I wish he would feel more comfortable being out front because he's got a lot to offer. He's got a lot to offer. And in this time, in this day and age, that old school, blue collar, chip on your shoulder, what's made us who we are here in this town and at OSU, we need that more than ever right now. We need to identify who those kids are, who those families are, and get those kids here, and we'll win. We'll win in everything. Most importantly, we'll win in life. And so I think that's what Coach Ward brings. So thank you. Any questions? I'll leave it at that. So if you guys want to ask me anything, I'll answer anything.
Be sure if you ask a question, get a microphone in front of you. You're kidding me. There's no questions out of this?
Coach, I assume, watching the girls, the pitchers, that the coaches are calling each pitch before she got, rather than leaving it up to the pitcher and the catcher. How do you determine what that batter's tendency is to call a pitch, whether it's a curveball, inside low, or whatever?
It's a great question. Our job is not just games. We spend more time in preparation. So we have a system called Synergy. Any college game that's being played is being filmed and it's being uploaded to this website. And then we can go back and we can filter like you don't even understand. Like I can go, I want to see, we're playing Utah, so we can filter their best hitter, Sally, and we go, I want to see what she's done every year in college on first pitch against a left-hander at night. So it's real stuff. We can go in there and we're behind baseball. Baseball's ahead of us. Baseball will always be about 2 years ahead of us. So baseball can do even more. But so then our pitching coach is watching that, and you can't solely base everything off what you're seeing off a video, because not every pitcher is like Ruby, our ace. So you may say, well, this girl hits a drop ball fairly good. Well, does she hit a 9-inch drop ball good that comes in at 72? Probably not, as long as she gets it in the right spot. So then you have all this info. We know if this girl swings at the first pitch or she doesn't. Hitters are who they are, okay? And so we have a lot of info. They have the same info on us. And so once we gathered that info, then we have Carrie's got a plan. And then what makes Carrie so great is a a skill called recall. Her recall, to be able to recall pitches that she's already thrown, even though she's writing it all down, she can recall things that I'm like, hey, where'd you see that? She goes, I remembered it in the first at bat. And I'm like, that was Friday night. It's Sunday. My brain is fried. How do you remember that? It's her recall, right? And that's why she's great. It's just a lot of work. There's a lot of prep. Like they're in there prepping now. Like I'll go back in there. We're going to get to practice, and then I'll go home this evening. My in-laws are coming in tonight, so my wife and I are going to go pick them up in OKC and go to dinner. And I will sit in the back seat on my computer and my MiFi and just watch. I'll talk to them too, but I can watch. And my mother-in-law is actually my fourth coach, or she thinks she is. So she's probably watched some of Utah too, so she'll be watching that. But that's how it works. And so we've got a plan. I coach outfield, but I don't have the time like I need to be able to watch what I need to watch. So Cheyenne Factor, who's our player development, she's doing my outfield video stuff where she's doing the placement of the outfielders. Coach Bergeron's doing the infield placement, and then Carrie and them will meet. I'll be there as well, but I don't talk a lot because I haven't done the film work, so I would be speaking out of turn. Carrie will say, I'm going to pitch Sally like this. So Shai will say, hey, we need to play her in a slight opposite deal, and we're gonna play her shallow, which is this would be our sign. And Carrie would say, yeah, I'd rather you play her in pull side because I'm going to pitch her like this, and we'll make that change. And then Bergie will say, hey, we're going to play like this in the infield, and Carrie will say, why? And he's like, well, on Synergy, every ball and play that I've watched has gone to this spot. And it's amazing. That's why they call it a spray chart. It is like you will be amazed that kids hit the ball in the same place almost routinely. So that info, it's up to the hitters now to change that. And then it's up to the pitching coach to then adapt. And that's what makes it so hard. That's why sweeping is so hard. So hard. It's gotten so much harder, but there's a lot. There's a lot of work. A lot of work, yeah.
So, Kenny, we got one more question over here. Go ahead, Larry.
You mentioned, Coach, right at the beginning of your talk, recruiting, and you talked about the fit. You talked about are they a fit for us, or are we a fit for them? Could you give an example or two of what fit means? Because I've heard not just you, but a number of other coaches who've been here who've talked so much about this idea of they weren't a fit for us, or they were a fit for us. What? An example or two.
Sure. It's a good question. Really good. It's what we're searching for. And it's probably where we're spending the most money currently. We're doing a lot of assessments, like personality assessment things. We're doing 3 different assessments. One of them is a company called Hogan that's out of Tulsa. They are like one of the leaders in the world right now, right out of Tulsa, in assessments for businesses, trying to get the right people doing the right jobs. Like all of us have people that we're like, man, they are, this Steve over there, man, that guy, he is so valuable to us. But do we have Steve doing the right job? Is he in the right spot? Are we getting the right value? Are we maximizing his value? He may be a sales guy that's crushing it, that needs to be actually right under the CEO because the way his brain works, right? So Hogan is actually, they've invested $150,000 in our softball team for 1 year. And when this came to me, Kerry Eberly, our pitching coach's dad, he's a guy that's a consultant for many companies, and he gets brought in and he kind of combs through your business and gets to know everybody that's working there to kind of help streamline what's going on. Do we have the right people in the right spots? And do you have the right people? Just because it's your buddy doesn't mean it's the right spot, right? And so Hogan, he got to talking to Hogan about some things, and he was talking about the softball team. They're like, man, we are big fans. We're getting into sports. Like they're now, have all of you guys heard, for the NFL Combine, they used to have the Wonderlic test for the quarterbacks. That's gone. They're now using Hogan. And now Major League Baseball is into Hogan. And so now they're in the bat and ball sports. So now they were like, well, naturally, let's get into the most powerful people in the world, you ladies, and let's find out what's going on there. So they are in our business, and it's been awesome. Well, what we're trying to find out, it's a long story to get back to this point, we're trying to find out is we've been successful so far of kids not leaving here unhappy. If they leave here, there's one reason. Any idea what that is? Actually, not money. It's not at all. It's playing time. They want to play more. Okay? I'm okay with that. The money, guys, is not affecting us like it is the men. Men are idiots. I'm one. We jump for greener pastures a lot of times.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, you can. Women are, and I don't claim to know everything, but like what I get around my kids is like when they get rooted in, it's hard to get them to move, okay? Because they're invested. They built trust. They built all this stuff that makes you go, hey, it's hard, but I love it. This is what I want. This is what I signed up for. So the money's not a big issue for us. We got to have it because it's still helping us, but it's not as big of a deal as it is for the guys. So fit. Families and kids, will they survive? Can they handle still water? If they need Lululemon on the corner, this is not a fit. Make sense? Like, it's not a fit. Like, if they're good with, I'm going to be loved every single day here. We're going to win. I'm going to leave here with a great education. I'm going to have the best 4 years of my life here. Because we still have that. Our girls don't overpost on social media because they don't have to. They're not living a fake life here. They live a real life here. Like, that's why I love my kids to be raised here in this state. We're not living a fake life. We're not trying, social media is an avenue for all of us to try to impress people that we don't even know. It's what it is. And so I want to find kids that fit the cowgirl way, that I don't have to re-recruit each year, each day. Okay, I have coaches that ask me, man, isn't it a shame that we got to re-recruit these kids? Like, call it like softball coaches. I'm like, I'm not recruiting my kids. I just tell them hi each day. Like, really, that's like honest. Like, I tell every one of my kids, hey, how's your day? Like, whether they're starting or not. And so finding kids that fit still water, that fit the way we want to play, that when we recruit them and tell them this will be the hardest 4 years of your entire life up to this point, but when you're done, it'll be the greatest experience you've ever had. Kids that buy into that stuff. If I've got a kid that wants to know first thing first, how much? I'm out. Ruby Malin is probably one of the, there's one outlier in the whole deal, and it's not here at OSU, but Ruby she does get a nice little NIL package here. She could have gone anywhere. OU recruited her, Florida, Oklahoma State, you name it, everybody, okay? She came here. We were her first trip, and she said, well, I'm going to go to OU and Florida next, and when I'm done with that, I said, well, why are you going there if you told me that this is your place? And she goes, it's a great point. This is where I want to be. I said, well, then why don't you just call them here and just tell them no? And that's where the rubber met the road, and she went to the hotel room, and her dad said, he's right. This is where you want to be. Why even go to those other spots? And we hadn't even talked NIL yet. I said, don't worry, it'll be good. But we're not going to base this on NIL. We're going to base this on this is the right fit for you and the right place for you to be the best you can be. And she called me that night at the afternoon and said, I'm coming. I've called OU and forward to both. And I was like, that's the right fit. That's the right fit. So it's little things like that we're trying to define. It has nothing to do with the stadium. Has nothing to do with NIL. It's, can you picture yourself here for the next 2 to 4 to 5 years, 1 to 5 years, and go, I can be the best me, and I can achieve everything I want to achieve. I can have the best time. And if they believe that, and that's truly what they're into, not the logo, not any of that kind of stuff, they find that it's the right place, it's the right fit. So I hope that helped you. Okay. Thank you, guys.